Now, I'm not going to like feel bad for you. Like those are long.
I know. I know.
Do you have
they're
any
long.
rules, by the way, on like?
Yes.
Okay.
My only rule is that if you have them long and it hurts you, like, because like if you get hit,
It does hurt, yeah.
it hurts bad. Like, I'm not feeling bad for you.
I've
That's my
never
rule.
actually like broken a nail
That's it.
super bad and it like bleed. Let me knock on wood, but
Yeah, you need to knock on wood on that.
So like, kind of like anything else, like all right, as like a teacher with phones in the classroom. As long as it's not a distraction, I'm all right with it. As long as it's not like getting in the way of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah,
you're all
I mean,
right with it?
unique analogy.
I don't
of the
know why
phone
that's
in the
where my
classroom.
mind went first. I think I know some teachers, and that's like obviously a big deal for them. So
Yeah. So we have 3 rules. Do you even know what our 3 rules are? Be a good person.
is that number 1?
That's number 1.
Okay.
Make good decisions. That's number 2. And then our compliance made me add a 3rd of follow OU policies and compliance.
Okay.
So that's it. Those are the rules we have.
okay.
Have you ever had a player that you've been recruiting who had like long nails and that had to like come up and like, was that a part of the conversation?
No,
like, hey,
I don't
we need
really.
to reel this in
I
a little
don't really like that stuff. Doesn't even bother me. Quite honestly, I don't even really notice.
bit. Okay.
It's just more it's more become like a joke where it's like if someone's nail gets hit and then they're leaning over and they're running off to the
Now it's
sideline,
taken
or
away
we
from
do
what we're
a
doing.
lap, a pain lap, like that. I'm like, I don't feel bad for you.
There's
always-
already enough things that can.
Yeah,
I've
Go
always
wrong.
thought I shot better with nails.
Really? Okay.
but
I haven't-
there's
That
no
seems
proof.
really counterintuitive.
There's no proof.
But
There's not.
it's okay.
In my head, I think
In
that
your
I shoot
head.
better.
Is that like the look good, feel good, play
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's the thing.
Gotta have
That's
bright
fair.
pink nails.
Okay.
That's the Deion
okay,
Sanders
so
Coach
how
Prime.
did you start? How did you start? Like, how old were you when
Oh
you
my
started
gosh.
doing acrylics?
Like 8th grade, I think, and I haven't stopped getting them done.
Well, you can't, right?
I mean,
Can
like
you?
they can like once
them
you
off.
like stop wearing them for a while, you can see like how ruined your nails are, and I don't want to see that, so I'm just gonna keep getting them done.
Isn't that
a good
not
point.
good?
It's not good.
So will your nails look like this in season?
Yeah.
Out of season? Okay.
Yeah.
In season, how often are we like switching up? Is that like when you need to change up the vibes? Like, oh, I was 1 for 6 last game. Like, let's switch these up.
I usually wait longer, like during the season.
'Kay.
I don't know. It's just like I don't have a lot of time.
One more thing to think about and do.
You know what our
Yeah.
superstition used to be, that if your nails were painted, then they called more fouls on you
Interesting.
because the color.
Okay.
Yeah. So we never. Now let's not talk about when I played, but
Did you have
Oh,
nails
just
when you
wait.
played?
That'll, no, I'm just
No.
kidding.
no, just wait. Yeah, she doesn't know all that yet.
Is that just because like it's one more like flash of color that an
I don't
official
know.
can
That's
see,
what,
kind of a thing?
I think that was our rationale.
Yeah, it's funny what you can tell yourself.
Yeah.
is-
And I wonder who told us that. Because that was a thing. Maybe it was
Interesting.
just our team. I don't know.
Okay, I want to ask
Yeah.
you what your. I'm going to go to her for her answer first.
'Kay.
But I want you to be thinking about yours.
Hmm.
Pre-game playlist, favorite, maybe artists. You don't have to give us like a specific song. You can if you want. But what gets you hyped up while you're thinking? And if this ages anybody in any way they would not like to, we can definitely cut
Are you
this
talking
part
about
out.
when I played, or you're talking about now?
Absolutely, when you
Oh,
played.
well,
Which,
I mean.
Well, it was like 12 years ago, right? When you graduated?
Yeah,
You know, not that
exactly.
far.
So it wasn't that long ago. I know. No, it's actually really funny when you start thinking about the songs that you used to listen
Yep.
to. Like Nelly was big when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they start playing like the early 2000s.
Yep.
Like our players are like, oh, let's listen to that. And I'm like, that was like, I know the words.
Be careful. I'll be.
I know, exactly. And
I'll
I
be
know we
saying all
probably
the
shouldn't play this, Where now half the stuff I'm like, I don't even know what is happening.
Yeah.
So-
Sometimes I think that.
Yeah.
I
But you
feel like
gotta
I didn't
love,
play that long ago, but I'll be in a visiting gym with you guys while y'all are warming
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and the playlist is like,
All of a sudden you're like, oh, early
well, no,
2000s.
if it's like new stuff.
Oh.
If it's new stuff, and I'm like, so this is good right now, I guess.
This is good
popular.
right now. Right. Well,
Okay.
and jock jams, that was huge.
Yep.
That was huge. So like
What?
you knew all that. Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
They
what
didn't
Is
is
even
there like
have
a
jock
regional?
jams.
What's your regional Iowa answer? It's like I don't
What's
even
that
know.
even mean?
Huh?
What do you mean by
Like a
regional?
musician? Are there any good musicians from Iowa? Like, did you?
Oh, because being from Oklahoma, there's
Yeah.
like so many people.
There,
That's
yes,
like your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if we had regional
Okay.
Iowa people.
I didn't mean to
I
like
mean,
put
we
Iowa
could
on
go back
blast
to
in that way.
No, I mean, gosh, you think about anywhere from Corn to Buddy Holly.
Okay, there we go.
And I don't know if I could sing any songs.
There we go. Okay.
I would say anything but country.
Okay, so pretty open, just not.
Yeah, I would say rap. I listen to a lot of rap.
Sure.
Drake. Even
Okay.
though I can't listen to his new album, but
Okay.
yeah, any rap I'm good with.
So do you not like country at all, or is that only pregame? It doesn't get you excited to play?
I mean, I'll listen to country a little bit,
Okay.
but
From
just-
Oklahoma, it kind
yeah,
of comes
yeah.
with
just pregame, I don't think I could do country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't get you up. Do you feel like you have to get
I'd agree with
more
that.
up? Or do
Yeah.
you feel like you have to calm more down?
I feel like I have to get more up and ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's
It is.
that's a very coach perspective question, because you probably see
Yeah.
like, I need her to relax a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's okay for others to
Yeah.
kind of amp themselves up.
Well, and people respond so differently.
Yeah.
And, people's heart rates are different. People's just, how they
Yeah.
respond to the crowd is different. How they respond in a locker room right before you go out, just, really centering yourself or making sure that you're connected as well with your team. Because, like, if you're too jazzed, that can affect your team.
Absolutely.
If you're too low, that can affect your team. And so you really have to be mindful of being, strategic in how you get yourself ready to go and compete.
Where were you at on that spectrum as a player? Like,
I don't know if, you didn't think about stuff
No, you
then.
didn't.
It's like you didn't
Yeah.
think about mindfulness. You didn't think about your breath. You didn't, you were just trying to breathe,
Yeah.
like you didn't think about being confident,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't think about that kind of stuff. It just was, I'm sure there were other things that were, the buzzwords or the things, but I mean, think about all the technology now that they have at their fingertips. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
overwhelming, but but just that of understanding now what we can understand
Yeah.
is different.
yeah. I want to hear about kind of your background and growing up. From
Yeah.
Norman, born and raised in Norman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Born into a big sports family. Parents both athletes.
Yeah.
Dad coached you growing up, and I want to hear some from you
Who
on
was
this as
harder
well.
on you,
Ooh,
like
yeah,
when you
that's a good
started
question.
playing, like
My
when you were
dad.
little?
My dad for sure.
Always.
Yeah.
I think I saw I
did
saw
he
your mom
coach you
asked about
always,
that.
Always.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he was basically my coach for like my whole life
Okay.
until I got into like AAU. My last couple of summers, I had Coach Katie, but other than that, yeah, he was my only coach.
So going back to, because we both have young kids,
Mm-hmm.
and my kids are just in that, like, did you call it junior high or middle school?
Middle school.
Okay.
Same.
Because they don't call it junior high anymore, or as my kids tell me. Like when you were playing then, because you played with some of your teammates here too.
Yeah.
Which is so fun. I think
Yeah.
those
We'll get
stories would
into
be
that.
fun, and we can get into that. But did your mom or dad ever get kicked out of a game because they were yelling at a ref?
My dad, yeah.
Did he really? But he was coaching,
Coaching
so
you.
does
Yeah.
that count? I don't know.
Okay, so he was like always your coach.
Yeah.
Okay. So you probably don't have a bunch of perspective of like what it's like to play for a parent as coach and not, but I mean now you do, obviously, with a season under your belt last year as a freshman. I'm just really curious, have you kind of started to develop getting to know teammates, whether that be at Kansas this year? I know things haven't really started ramping up this year yet, but have you, and it may just be like kind of your game as well and your development as a player, but have you started to kind of get a feel like, okay, I'm a little different in this way because I always had, first of all, parents who played and have that perspective and that care for sports, of course, is the number one thing probably as a parent, but, and kind of passing that on to kids. Like, have you started to develop any of that? Like, me and that teammate are a lot different. She came from, because that obviously happens in life, right? You work with people that couldn't have come from different backgrounds than you, different parts of the country, whatever. And I always note, and I ask this because as a player, I don't know if you're the same. I didn't play for, other than being, really, really little, church leagues and stuff like that. I didn't play for my dad. But I could tell a difference. I feel like when I had teammates that did, like up through high school. So I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Did you notice anything like that so far?
Yeah, I mean, like when I went to KU, I basically didn't know anybody.
Sure.
And I met this girl, she was from Spain, and we just had like very different perspectives about anything. So I think it was really interesting to kind of get to know like how she does things.
What
Sure.
were some of the differences?
Just like her attitude in things. I don't know, I feel like some things that she would do when she was in a different country, she probably wouldn't do in college.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Was she also a freshman?
No, she is a junior. She's going to be
Okay.
a senior. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice, was it more like off the floor difference or more on the floor difference?
I would say kind of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like style of play. I know.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
interesting how international the game's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she played, you could tell like she wasn't from America, like in how she played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good feel for like spacing. And did you play soccer growing up?
She did.
Probably.
Yeah.
That changes a lot.
Did you play other sports?
Yeah, I played soccer, which I quit because one time it was raining outside, so I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I tell people play a sport that's indoors.
Yeah.
It covers so many issues.
Yeah, and I did track, volleyball. I think that was it.
You
Okay,
really
so
stopped playing soccer because one time it rained?
Yes, and I was like bawling my eyes. I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Okay, what age was that? And like all of the sports you played, when did you stop them?
I was like maybe first or second grade when I quit soccer.
Okay.
And then I did volleyball and track in middle school.
Okay.
And I was going to do it in high school, and then I was like, no, I'm just going to focus on basketball.
So only basketball in high school.
Yeah, only basketball in high school. Which I wish I would have played different sports.
In high school?
Yeah.
Oh, how come?
Just because it was a lot of basketball, and I kind of wanted to kind of branch out and not just focus on one thing.
But that's like a retrospective thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you only play basketball in high school?
I ran cross country
Okay.
and
Oh, I couldn't do
played
that.
softball for 2 years for each.
Okay. Because
And
I'm with
then
her. I only played
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
I wish I
Yeah.
at least would have played like golf or
Yeah.
something.
Well, the unique thing about softball in Iowa is you can play high school going into your freshman year, so you're in 8th grade,
Okay.
essentially. And so you get kind of that
Only with
extra
softball?
year. Only with softball. Because it's a summer sport.
Oh, it's a
In
seasonality
Iowa?
thing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so it's really interesting. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. One more, I want to pull on the coach's
Yeah.
kid thread a little bit more
Yeah.
and ask you, can
Yeah.
you go, like, the AAU tournament,
Yeah.
you're scouting, you're talent evaluating. Can you tell if a kid has played for, like, their parent or not,
Oh.
just by their game? Maybe it's probably fairly case by case, but
I think it is case by case. I think
you probably wouldn't be surprised when you find out, like, oh, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying to remember even
Yeah, I
just
was
like
gonna
watching you play
Yeah.
where, but a lot of when you played, you also played AAU where like your dad was there. But obviously in high school it's totally different.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really easy on you, like I think there's an element too of, like I haven't coached my own kids either, but as a coach, you see that, you know what I mean? Like you see the game different and your kids I think there's a different kind of expectation on someone that's been coached by their parent.
Yeah.
You're
You're saying
even like
as
other
they go through
recruits.
life with other,
Well,
other people, like their
yeah,
eventual
you're
coaches.
supposed to be the best. You're supposed to be the
Yeah.
hardest worker. You're supposed to be
Like that mistake is
and that's
below
not
you.
always yeah, you're supposed to do all these things, and I think sometimes you're going to get the benefit of the doubt, sometimes you're going to get where it's like you really have to develop a confidence because life isn't always nice to you, right? And people aren't always nice, and so it's hard, I think, to I even look at my colleagues that have coached their own kids in college, right? Like
Have come to play for them, yeah.
yeah, and I think that's a hard thing because it's sometimes you're gonna underplay your kid because you're just not sure. Sometimes you're gonna overplay because it's like that what's really in them. And like
Yep.
when you start watching your own children, you know what's kind of in your
Yep.
in your kid, but you're also the first one to be like, sub him out, sub her out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you want them to do those things, but you also, as a coach, know that it doesn't. Your production is so much less important, even though obviously that's important. It's so much less important than actually how you play. Are you playing hard? Are you talking?
Yeah.
Are you doing those? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All the things that,
All the
as a
things
coach, that you hope
value
to
and know you have to have. To
Yeah,
win.
like if you're in
Yes.
my rotation, you have these
You
things.
have to have
If you're
these
not in my
intangibles.
rotation, it's because
Yeah.
I don't know if you do, and we're learning
Yeah.
each other yet, or
Yeah.
or you haven't been given the opportunity as a player to show me that you do consistently, where that trust is there. Whereas, like you're saying,
100%.
that's really interesting. Yeah.
But also at the end of the day, there's a difference of, I really admire people that can separate some of that, right? Like where people can separate being coached by their parent, because sometimes it's hard to take that parent hat off, and and sometimes it's really hard to not see your
so you're
coach
saying
as your
admire
parent.
the young person?
I admire the whole situation.
Yeah, sure.
Because I don't think I think it's a lot more challenging than you think it actually is. And, because there's not always an ability to separate. And
Yep.
that's not fair to anybody either, but it's life. And it's also, at the same time, the other part is it's really cool, to be in it with them. Like, how cool is that?
Well, and the amazing thing is, like, and you understand this, going to be a sophomore, it was your reality, and you
It's
didn't
your
live
life.
anybody else's,
Right.
right? It's been
Right.
been your whole life, Keeley. So
Right.
it's like you don't know any different. It's like when people ask me,
100%.
"Hey, what are twins like?" I don't know. Haven't had just one, and now we have. But
Yeah.
it's like that's our reality, and I think as you go through college, and then as you, whether that's keep playing basketball, whatever it is you do, you'll start to realize kind of that perspective, as you've experienced all these different ones, and it will be of value to you. One more on, I wanted to ask, as far as being like a player and going through your high school journey. 2-time state player of the year in Oklahoma. Was that your junior and senior year? Is that right?
Yes.
So senior year, that happens like after the season, right? A lot of us probably expected you're a really good player. But junior year, yeah, you have to come back and play again, right? Did you notice any differences in like competitiveness from opponents or maybe teammates, whether that be AAU, whether that be school, as like some of those accolades kind of started to develop? And like, how did you manage that? I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, I feel like in high school, everyone wanted to just play their best against
Sure.
us and my team, and obviously me. I think I didn't really see any difference in AAU,
Okay.
but I feel like I had to kind of get it again after my junior
Sure.
year, and then going into senior year. I feel like it wasn't pressure, but I put pressure on myself,
Yeah.
kind of, to try to get it back to back.
You hear of like the way elite athletes think. Michael Jordan, I think of SGA these days. As an athlete, you kind of you have to develop, even if you're making them up, like those types of motivations, right, that you had as a senior. Is that interesting to you at all? Like, is there, because we're talking about this mentality of your players and the type of people and players. This is kind of on the player side, even though it's a people thing, like a mentality, but it's a competitive mentality. It's a basketball mentality. I'm sure hearing that sounds good to you from her senior year of school, like welcoming that, like, I noticed this and I want that, kind of extra level of target on my back. I know I'm getting your best because it's making me take my game to another level in a way.
Well, and I think part of that too is trying to compete for state championships,
Sure.
and sometimes
goal.
that's, yeah, exactly. And there's a reality in the fact that there's, you have to perform for your team to be able to win. And I think that's the pressure that a lot of people put on themselves. And they're just under this microscope. And so the like you said, it's not even pressure, it's just your everyday. It's like what it is, right? And you hear pressure is a privilege, and you hear, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that. And I think the best and most elite understand that you just show up every day. That's it. And
Like really
as
pretty
simple
simple.
as it sounds, it's not easy, right?
Sure.
And I think, you know, you've been able to see that with players in our program. You've been able to see that with, obviously, with Keeley in high school. But that's what we want here, too, is just show up every day. Just give 100 of what you got every day. And you start to put those days back to back to back to back, and you start to see that the people around you do that, too. You start to really thrive, right? When you're in a high school setting, it's different than when you're in a college setting, right? And it depends on the people that are around you. You hear realm of influence all the time. And so I think that sometimes that's a challenge when it's like you're trying to do that and your parent's the coach in her example, and you have this outside influence, and then you have this social media. Oh, and I'm going to college to play. And I have to, you know, like there's a lot of those things that are harder for people to manage. And so I think in Keeley's situation, what's been fascinating, and I'm kind of taking another turn here, but you know, it's, you know, because you go through this recruiting process, right, where you're talking a lot.
Yeah.
Like her and I mean, probably for a couple months, we were talking almost every day, right, or close to, or she was talking to somebody.
Okay. Are you talking about out of high school or
when she's still in high school, so before her senior year in high school, you know, where you're talking a lot. Like there were a lot of those moments, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're not coming here, and so then you stop talking completely. There's no talking, right? So you talk to somebody
there's
for
like
this
a
long
relationship,
time,
and then
right?
Not that there's not
Which
one gone,
but the thing that I will tell you that you know, people always talk about relationships and recruiting, okay? And I'd love to hear your perspective.
Right?
Yeah, but you don't really have a relationship with people, in my opinion, until you've been with them for a year, until you've been in a grind and you've seen them on bad days and good days and every day in between, and you have to show up every day.
Yeah.
Right? And so because you showing up every day, right? Like we don't know each other yet, even though I talk to her a lot.
Yeah. We know a lot about each other.
We know a lot about each other. But also she didn't know any of our bad.
Yeah.
She only knew the good. You know, she'd been in our locker room, and, you know, and Keeley's a little different because she had access to come to some practices. So she doesn't always, you know, she's seen me yell. She's seen me happy.
Yeah.
She probably knew us even better than Kansas, even though she'd talked to Kansas for a long time and they were close and they had a good relationship. And so same with us, right? She's local. So we got to see her a lot more than we saw other people. So we saw the good and the bad more so than probably even what Kansas saw, right? And so sometimes that's hard. Sometimes that's kind of scary because you're like, oh, well, I know a little bit more of what I like and I don't like. I know a little bit more about where you have to get better. So like in the recruiting process, I'm really direct. I'm like, okay, here's what's good. Here's where like you are going to get better. Here's where you're going to grow. Here's where I think you're going to have to be really good, because she could see how hard you work every day, right?
Yeah.
And then you stop talking. And it was a year and a half, really, you know, that it's like you have 0 words. And we stopped talking. And so then the first time that we started talking, when she, you know, entered the portal and went through that situation, the conversation was completely different. You know, where it's like she had her little
questions.
She was asking questions. I was I said, what happened?
You go to college for a year, you grow up.
You grow up.
You grow up a lot each year.
Yeah.
You grow up a lot.
But also probably all of that foundational conversation you had before.
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't happen if you hadn't had that too.
Well, a lot of times when you go into the portal world, the questions are things like, oh, why'd you leave? I didn't ask that once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's your journey. That's where you are. That's where you're at. We have a no comparison rule. Like, we're not going to sit here and compare. I still have respect there. We don't have time to sit there and talk about what went wrong. We have right now, it's like, okay, you know, because it would, you know, and I'm even turning questions to, okay, answer your own question that you just asked me. And she did. And how she started to talk and understand where she could fit and what she wanted, and remembering that history, and which is why you still have to recruit and not just go bank on getting players from the portal. But also understanding that relationships don't really start until you got some good and some bad in there. It's like your first year. It's like your first year of marriage. Everything is great until all of a sudden you're like, really? I got to live with this person forever, right? I just had my anniversary, so that's why I say that. 17 years. I know.
Congrats.
I know. But that's kind of, I think, in this situation, I think it's been so, it's been really interesting to navigate, but to be able to watch to see her grow.
And a lot of that's not different than pre-NIL and portal era. You're still recruiting, and you have your windows. You can talk to people and can't. They choose you or they don't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you kind of move on to the next one. That is interesting. I want to ask a couple of questions about your year this last year. First of all, injury-wise, health-wise, did you deal with much of that before college at all, or were you kind of generally pretty healthy?
Well,
Because I know going into Kansas, you had something in the off-season or preseason that kind of affected you.
In high school, in state, I think it was, I hurt my ankle and I played on it.
And that's what bothered you going into. Okay.
Yeah. And so probably not even a month I was there, I ended up getting surgery.
Gotcha. So that, how much time did that make you miss, like through off season, preseason? It's your first go around. Obviously, it's really important to kind of attack that mentally almost as physically. But now that you've gone through that season and you played some, you didn't play some, right, because of injury. Do you have like a retrospective thought of how to, specifically the early, like the off-season one, and not being able to fully ramp up in a way that you'd probably like to, just as a competitor and as a basketball player? Is there, like, do you have big thoughts about, man, I would have done this differently if I were healthy. I would have been able to just, because right, being an elite player, being a
what are your lessons learned? What do you feel like you learned?
I definitely learned don't take things for granted.
Sure.
Because I missed the whole summer, but I feel like I had really good teammates to kind of help me and really good leaders by my side. But yeah, I definitely learned that.
What's like looking this year, being, presuming health through the off season and preseason, what are you hoping to be able to do with your game, now that you will be involved and be able to do things?
Yeah, definitely want to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I think get stronger because SEC is very different from Big 12. So I'm really excited about that. I think me playing the SEC is probably better for my game.
Okay.
I feel like I'd grow a lot more, be able to kind of play how I want to play.
Sure. So you just mean from a competitive, on that thought, from like the competition level being up here to raise your game?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What, from a coach's perspective, what's a player miss if they're out during the off season? Like, from a minutes on the floor when game one comes around, what are you most bummed if that does happen?
Well, I think as a freshman that's hard because you don't know what you don't know, right? And so when you miss it, then you don't know. Yeah. And then you feel behind. And then once you feel behind, it's hard to just chip away when it gets to live play, right? And so there's a reality in that. We had last summer, I can relate it a little bit, doing, because I was gone. And so Reagan and I were both gone, right? And then you had Sahara and 3-on-3, and they play today actually, pretty soon actually. Yep. And they, so Sahara was gone a while, and then you had Peyton and Reagan that went to trials, and I was at those trials, and then, and then Reagan and I go off, and you're gone for a month, and so all that time I think was really challenging to miss. I loved the experience. The experience was amazing to be able to coach some of the top women and to be able to be, at that level. And I look back then I come back, right? And these are future pros, future Olympians that you get to coach, and you're in this tournament and you're seeing these, you're playing against WNBA players from some of these other countries, right? And so then you come back to practice, and we were pretty young, and so your intensity level's high, right? So it's like your first time in, it's like you come in and you're like, and all of our staff's like, oh, here she is, and I'm like, I'm not even yelling, like I wasn't even like hard, but I missed that one-on-one time with them in that first month. And so to miss the whole summer is a whole different element, right? But to miss that time with them, because I'm very hands-on. I like to do the player development. I like to be in practice. That's my favorite thing. So in our whole world, that part is like this much. but I gatekeep it, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to trade the player development for anything because that's one of my favorite things to do. And everybody on our staff does that. And so, so I think that's a huge challenge because you don't know what you don't know. Your biggest growth is in my opinion, between your freshman and your sophomore year.
Sure.
So I know if players, because you can see the motivation, you can see the investment level, you could see the willingness to be bored doing your mic and drill, to be bored doing your 10 minutes of ball handling over and over, and then your joy of playing, your joy of understanding that you're whether it's training, whether it's, playing pickup with your team, whether it's playing 3-on-3, like the joy of being able to do that on your own. And it's not planned and it's not, it's not coach constructed, it's free play. That is where I can see our team and where our program is going, starting to really take those steps. Because I got to see them play when they weren't supposed to play. I got to see them, that's part of your conditioning is play basketball. Love
Some of
playing
my
basketball.
least favorite from like a being tired standpoint, Lon used to always make us play 3-on-3 a lot in the off season.
Yeah.
When you're not
3-on-3
in
is
shape.
hard.
And it's
It is hard.
No, not 3-on-3.
So tired.
I know, right?
But it does make you so much better from a moving and spacing standpoint. But
Yeah. I love that Lon did that.
a lot off season. It was really our conditioning that now that I think about it. He didn't really say as much. But
Yeah.
My sister went to Arizona for the USA 3-on-3
okay.
a couple weeks ago.
How'd she like it? Did she die?
Yeah, and the heat was terrible.
Yeah, that's fair.
but
'Cause it's outside.
She really did enjoy it
Man,
though.
I didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah. I love watching Sahara in it. I think she's so
That team is
yeah, I mean, they're such a
stacked,
good
by the
team.
way.
They're such a good team, but you know what's so neat about her is even her team last year and then watching her this year, and I watch the games. Like, I mean, even when I watch them live. Like, I'll get up and I'm texting with her, she's halfway across the world. I mean, half the time it's the middle of the night, right? And I set my alarm and I'll get up and I'll watch them.
Poland today, right?
Poland today, yeah. So that's a little earlier. When she was in the Philippines or when she was in China, I'm like, literally, it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Last year they were in Mongolia and I'm like literally in the middle of the night waking up and I'm watching these games. And it's been so fun to watch her process and see how important what she does matters. Her intangibles are second to none. I mean, she talks the game. She'll, she can guard everybody. She doesn't care if she scores, if someone else scores, like her energy, like she's just so contagious. And it's been so fun to be able to see her have this worldly impact on her physicality and her leadership and her competitiveness. Her skill set has, been catching up because she just works. But to be able to watch that has been so fun. I'm excited for you to experience her as that leader because she will elevate your game.
Yeah.
And she'll have just high expectation for you on a daily basis. And when your teammates can do that for you, then your teams are going places.
She's fun to watch. One more for you on your year at Kansas. When you were on the floor and healthy, let's talk about the fun part of basketball, obviously. Did you ever feel like if 10 out of 10 Keeley Parks as a freshman is here, did you ever feel like you made it like there or anywhere near there just from recovering from health? And even if you didn't, like what game or stretch of the season did you feel closest to that? And just kind of what were you pleased with, about your game as a freshman? If that makes sense.
I think my ankle was 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it was really healthy, but I think style play, that just kind of hurt me a little bit.
Okay.
It wasn't for me, I will say.
Okay.
But I think Baylor, it kind of showed my game a little bit more.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What part of the year did you guys play then? Because you played Iowa State in like December, right?
Yes.
I think you played pretty well against them.
Yeah, we played them January, New Year.
Cool.
Something like that, yeah.
Any answers from you on that? Like, I know you guys are getting to know each other, obviously, but recruiting her and seeing what her game is like, just re-recruiting her again this offseason, looking at her season, what did you see?
Yeah, my favorite parts about Keeley, again, we got to watch her a lot and we got to see her go through good moments that, that she would agree were good moments. There would be probably moments that she would agree she would like to have back. I mean, we saw a lot of that throughout the years. And I think whether that's physical health, whether that's a good game or a bad game, right? Like you have all of that. I think my favorite parts are I like her versatility. I like she's sneaky. There's sometimes where you just really got to watch to understand, like she really understands angles. She understands. I love her off-ball movement. There aren't a lot of players that have that kind of feel. Now you have
That's
to have
a lost
really
art
good
these
players.
days.
You have to have really good players around you to find you in
Sure.
that. But I think you're going to see a lot of that in the way
Okay.
that we play when she's here, because I think we have some really good players with really great vision. I think her and Aaliyah will connect really well in terms of that. Again, Sahara with her 3-on-3 play. I mean, the way that she's wanting to play, I'm really excited about that. I think that she can move, she can run, she can shoot the ball, she can handle the ball, she provides us some size and some length. I think she's sneaky on defense. I think again, you go back and your parents a coach, right? And so you're going to know your position in terms of defense. You're going to have to learn, there's going to be a major learning curve in terms of terminology that's going to be different than what she had in AAU, what she had in high school, what she had at KU, what she has here. But I don't think that's going to take that long. We're more read and react, and I think that really will suit her. I think the way that we play, she's played with some of the players on our team, so I think that part's going to be really fun. So there's some of that chemistry.
And played a lot against too.
And you
so.
played a lot against. Yeah, you played a lot against. I think that our off-court chemistry, I think, is really good. I think when you have a Brooklyn Stewart, who is just a connector of all things and all people,
Yes.
She will be somebody that will want to see her be great, and I think that's something that will be really fun. We have this really cool mix on our team. Part of it's just a personal value of mine is diversity, and so I love diverse perspectives, play styles. I love when you can sub one person and the whole thing looks different, and I think she's going to provide that for us. But I think her, when you are an elite three-point shooter, be an elite three-point shooter. That's what we need her to be.
Okay.
So I need her to be able to do that. I need her to be able to guard. Everything else is going to be great, but she can shoot the ball. And we have a couple people that can just shoot the ball. And the more that we have that, the more that we're willing passers, willing shooters, there's going to be a lot of creation that will take place. And so I think that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah. I like what you said about instincts and stuff like that. And that's not a surprise for, a player who has consistently put the ball in the basket at a high level, at every level, right? That doesn't happen by chance. It's because,
I think there were a lot of times in high school where she had to do that with the ball in her hands.
Yeah.
But I think there were enough times that you didn't have the ball in your hands, where you had some other players on your team over the years that were really good ball handlers.
Which is that rare at the high school level? Like, I feel like sometimes you have a kid, I'm sure you see this a lot, they just didn't have a lot. Maybe it's a smaller school and just a really, really talented kid that, and then they just didn't have, like, everything fell on them, right? Not that you can't coach that and learn those things, but that does take some time too.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a mix of that.
Yeah.
But in Norman, there's enough people that really like basketball.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's enough people, and I get some years we think we don't have it, we have it, we don't, whatever. I mean, that's not for me to make that decision, but
Sure.
I think you can always play the game, and you can always teach the game, you can always be better at the game. Does that mean you win every game? Not necessarily. Do you have to have talent to win the games? 100%. But I think the most talented players are the ones that can find ways to win with different styles, and I think they had to do that when she was in high school. I think she played in different roles probably your whole time, and I don't mean roles as in like you're the scorer or you're this. I mean you had to play multiple positions, and it was, and lucky you, your dad's the coach, so you just had to do what he told you to do. You know what I mean? You have to do that anyway, kind of, but
Sure.
I think there was that difference. And then in AAU, I think it was there were times you had to have the ball in your hands and play point, and there were times that you could free flow as an off guard. So I think, I think we got to see her in those multiple positions. And that's kind of how we play too, where you're going to have to play in multiple positions here.
Transition and all those things.
Yeah.
I think I saw you mention, I think it was your little bio on the Kansas website, like on your little player profile, that I can't remember what the question was, what do you like most about playing, or what, like, your favorite part of your game, or, what do you enjoy the most when it's happening? And you said, transition, running out, attack, being in attack mode.
Yeah.
Has that always been the case, or is that, I think it goes back to somebody who can put the ball in the basket. You end up finding the easiest ways to do that, and a lot of times, and you got to be fit to do that. You got to be, in the shape to do it, and know when's the right time to press and when's not. But I mean, does that kind of come from that, or just because I think, just watching Jenny's teams for the last 4 or 5 seasons now, that sounds like that'll be a good fit.
Yeah, I think transition is when I play best, and honestly, when my team plays best too.
I think there's this, I remember feeling this. I just wanted to play. So, like, I didn't care what that looked like, if it was at the 2, at the 3, at the 4, would have been a small 5, but at the 5, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to hear your perspective, but let's start with you. I think that can kind of get in the way of a player sometimes of like wanting to just be involved so bad, which that's not bad. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want out of your kids, right? She's willing to do anything to get out there. Mm-hmm. But at some point, you're building a program, you're building a team, you're building a roster, and, a scheme with what you're trying to do. And you do need your players to focus on, like, the areas that they'll best be able to help, right? Because mm-hmm. when you get down into February, you get down into March, everybody's not going out there and playing 5 different roles, Mm-hmm. So I think early on that can be valuable, but is that making sense? Like, mm-hmm. is there almost like that can almost turn problematic if you don't at some point mold it into the right direction?
Well, I think everybody comes here now, you're coming here to win at a high level. So you have to do what you do really well every day. Mm-hmm.
It's not everybody's a jack of all trades around here.
No, it's not, and I think that's the unique part of there's going to be some games, right, where you game plan and you would just have to find a way, right? If you have to double a center in this game, or you have to, run people off the line because they shoot all threes, things mm-hmm. like that. Like, there's going to be some scout-specific, game-specific adjustments you have to be able to make. But I do think that once you shift the thinking from I just want to play to we just want to win, that's when you start competing for championships. And that has been a building process, I think, for us. And you can see that players now come here because they want to win, not just because they want to play.
Gotcha.
We play a lot of people. We have a unique style. It doesn't matter what position that we put her in, the way that we play. And again, it's hard because you have to make reads, and so you have to make mistakes, and you have to be okay making mistakes, and you have to recover from that. Mm-hmm. And then you have to get up, but you have to learn, right? And it's almost, people always ask, how do you have everyone have a green light? Like, then she's going to shoot it every time. No, basketball players that want to win make plays.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the pass to the next pass, right? And you get 0 credit for it. Sometimes it's taking a charge. Sometimes it's you got to box this person out so your person doesn't get it, but someone else gets the rebound, right? And so it's not stat driven and it's not number driven in terms of your playing time. It's how do we win, and how do we, we have 10 freshmen and sophomores. So the faster that we will learn ourselves, the faster we can start to learn other people and play to their strengths.
Yeah.
Right? The more experienced teams play to each other's strengths.
Yeah.
We don't have that yet. We have to learn, Keeley's got to get in the gym this summer and with us by herself, everything. And my hope is that by September, October, she's feeling really good about who she is, and she knows who she is every day. Mm-hmm. Not what she was one day, not what she is the next day. So then when you start to put practice together, now she really can start to learn her team.
Yeah.
And then she can start to play to how does she put Keziah in a good position? How does she put Sahara in a good position? How does she right? So now how does her strength play to other people's strengths? So the more they can really learn their own strengths in the summer, that's why that summer is so valuable, right? Because when you miss a summer, that's hard because you don't always get that time to really know who you are and then figure out where you fit. There's a lot coming at them.
Yeah.
You know,
them
so
as people.
100%.
You got to know your Spanish teammate, but you don't know what her
100%.
game is really like under the
But you
crucible
can't
of,
know other people
Sure.
unless you really know yourself, right? And you can't see what you can bring in terms of how does this team maximize its potential to win at the highest level we can win.
Yeah.
And you don't, gone are days of people coming to this program to just come and want to play. They got to come and want to make an impact to win.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of scary in recruiting in saying that.
Well, and are you very clear about, and this is how
very
you
clear,
help us do that?
She's very clear.
She
Yeah.
is.
I'm not going to put you in a box though. And I'm
Sure.
not going to tell you you can only shoot and you can't do anything else. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, there's a
I'm just
balance
saying
there.
if you've got an elite skill set, why are you not shooting every time? I mean, I just, going to USA basketball the last few years, I mean, seeing that, like, they come for a reason, but also your skill set's elite. So you have to be the best at that. So be the best at that. But be okay that someone else is the best at something else. That doesn't hinder your confidence.
Sure.
That should enhance it.
Okay, so last off season, how big, like choosing Kansas, and set Kansas and OU aside, but choosing somewhere not home to go to school, how easy was that for you? And like growing up, just kind of getting to know yourself as a person, did you ever think you would be like have a feeling that you would want to leave home or want to stay home? And I'm just kind of curious where you were at mentally with, making that step. That's a big step.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in the same house for 18 years,
Okay.
so I was thinking like, I want to get out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I also don't want to go too far. And I just had like this feeling, I was like, I just need to get out, grow up.
Sure.
Don't know how long it was going to last, but I think I grew up a lot from that year. Yeah.
Was it like,
What made you want to come back?
I mean, just being home is a really
So it
great
is valuable,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch a lot of games in
did.
high school?
In high school.
Like, did you watch? No, just in general. Like, did you watch a lot of games? Like, most people don't.
I
and
didn't
so I'm
really.
curious. So then, like, style of play, right? That goes to being like an important factor, but you don't even realize
Yeah.
until you experience.
Yeah.
Right? Like, experience is our best teacher, and I think that's something that.
Yeah.
So then, when you started watching us play last year. Funny.
Yeah. I was like, I like that. I like that a lot. So
And it helps when a team's in the Sweet 16.
yeah, like
year
I
in and
want to
year out.
win.
Yep,
So
sure. Why OU? Like, if you would have chosen OU out of high school, or if, now that you did, like are you kind of in a different, we've kind of talked about that a little bit, I guess, but yeah, what is it about OU that you like? And you can't answer, well, it's close to home.
no, I mean it is close to home, but no. I think the culture is really good here. There's a big fan base, and I feel like if I were to come here, I would be able to have that like Norman fan base.
Sure.
I think that was super important, being able to play in front of all my friends, family, and just being close. Yeah.
Sure. What's it been like being back home? I'm sure you're like home right now before you all kind of get going this summer, but I mean, I'm sure that's been really nice.
Yeah, it felt a little weird at first. They built a lot more stuff, but
Okay.
yeah, I think I'm really glad to be back home though.